Mr. Trump, how you doing?
Okay, what happened?
I hear some great things about you. You are my president. I voted for you each time.
It sounds like you need something from him.
I agree wholeheartedly with what you're doing, but I do need to make this appeal to you.
I knew that was coming.
Those of us who are in our late 70s and early 80s, we're suffering.
Oh, just wait until more of that big beautiful bill kicks in. Oh, because they're coming after more of healthcare, which I'm gonna bet that you rely on, because winter is coming.
And with all of the money that you have recovered through Doge...
Oh, dude, you might want to look outside of Fox News and see how much Doge actually cost us. Approximately $135 billion in its first 100 days through loss of federal worker productivity, repeated fire and rehire cycles, and paid leave.
And through tariffs...
Are you talking about the tariffs that were ruled illegal by the Supreme Court, in which they're actually refunding $166 billion back to all of the corporations and importers, and not to the consumers that actually spent money for higher priced items?
I appeal to you on behalf of senior citizens that are living on, peanuts. Please, you've got to get us some compensation from all the money that was taken from us. We are suffering. Help, Mr. President.
Greetings, my bppn family. Welcome to Bold Perspectives Network. I'm Mr. Red. I wanted to start off today's FAFO with that senior. You all have expressed that you don't believe that MAGA has learned anything. And I think that some people have, but I will say the reason why the majority of us don't believe that MAGA has actually changed is because of seniors like the one you just heard. He makes a statement and says that he wholeheartedly agrees with Trump is doing, except for the shit that's affecting him. They didn't think about how it would hurt families. They didn't think about how it would hurt the economy. They didn't think about how this man was already criminally liable, that he's a felon, that he has no morals, characters, standards, or integrity. And let's not forget the racism. I mean, we can't forget that part, because that is the foundation of all of this. So today, I have a few FAFO videos that are going to show you that a lot of the people suffering are seniors. We also have some confused brown people who made some really bad decisions. And if you stick around to the end, I have a special FAFO update to a recent racist. We have much to discuss. Let's strap in. Let's get after it.
I don't regret my vote for Donald Trump. I don't regret it at all.
Oh, really?
The alternative would have been an acceleration of what was going on under the Biden years, to the point where we're in the same position as Ireland and England.
Okay, but
am I disappointed? Yeah, I'm really disappointed. We haven't seen any arrests. Nobody's held accountable. Billions upon billions, if not trillions of dollars in fraud, completely ignored.
that's because a lot of it is very likely coming from the person that you put into office.
The biggest obstacle to prosperity at every single turn in the United States of America is the United States federal government.
I mean, there's one party in politics that tries to implement policies that help people, and then you guys all of a sudden start screaming socialism when they try to help people.
And we've got a president right now who 77 million of us freaking voted for while being called every single demonic name in the book.
Were we wrong about it, though?
And just took it on the chin and still dropped our vote in the ballot box for him. And we are being completely left out in the cold.
Listen, I don't know this man personally, but let me say that it has been like him. People who think like him is the reason that we're in this today. Men like this want to say that things wouldn't have been better or different under a different regime. I told you that we can't get past this until people get past the racism, because you cannot convince me that Kamala was going to do something the same way that Trump just did. You can't convince me that she was going to get us into the same war that Trump just did. You can't convince me that she was going to put tariffs on imports coming in like Trump just did. You cannot convince me that we were going to alienate ourselves not only from our allies, who we already had deals with, but alienate ourselves from the rest of the world. like Trump did. You voted for a man without any policy, just promises. He had already broken promises before, but the promises he kept are the ones that y'all liked because it hurt other people.
Dear Q people, do you realize now you lost friends, lost family members, destroyed your reputation, destroyed your community, stormed the Capitol, committed an insurrection? You did all that for the PDFs that you were trying to find and bring to justice. The actual people that were telling you about all this horrible stuff were the same people that were doing it, but they told you it was other people. It was just Democrats. And the whole time, the PDFs that you were looking for were them. J.E. and Steve Bannon are Q. They were covering for DJT because he's the main character in the whole thing that you spent a decade thinking was other people. They tricked you so bad.
There's only one party that is pushing to have these files released. And it's not to say that there aren't people who are in, the blue side that isn't a part of those files. But I can tell you one thing. The majority of the red side voted against releasing the files, the Epstein files. And a lot of the people on the right swear they're holding themselves to such a high standard, yet this seems to be the side that continues to get busted for corruption, for diddling little kids. They're the ones that continue to do the things, as this lady stated, that the Q people railed about. If that's not enough to make you realize that maybe I picked wrong, but this one side, if I had just did a little bit more research, I would have realized their complicity, their cover-up. Terrible for the economy, terrible for the United States.
Meet the residents from Social Circle, Georgia. They voted overwhelmingly for President Trump in the past few elections, and right now they're quite unhappy that their area might be getting something that they voted in favor for in their backyards.
Concerned voters, teachers, nurses, farmers, small business owners, people like John Miller. For months now, he's been organizing these meetings as his town of about 5,000 grapples with something very few people here saw coming.
And that thing that they did not see coming because they were too busy not seeing it like 1930s Germany is an immigration facility.
Back in December, Social Circle officials found out that the Department of Homeland Security had quietly purchased a massive warehouse in their tiny town. The plan? Turn it into a detention center for up to 10,000 people, effectively tripling the town's population overnight and placing new strain on resources that were already stretched thin.
You gotta understand, this is a huge scandal, a huge Ponzi scheme. And these people, whether they want to believe it or not, they voted for this shit. But watch, they're gonna deflect blame at some point too.
We don't have the wastewater capacity for anything close to this size.
Now, keep in mind, many of these folks believe in strong immigration policies and believe in mass deportations. And it appears as though the people that they help elect into office are not being responsive.
Now, residents here can't even get a response, let alone a visit, from the very same Republicans this town helped elect.
We're in Georgia and we can't get our attorney general to fight for us. So now we are trying to figure out how we're going to fight with a little money, fight the big federal government when we should have had our government fight for us.
That's some shit y'all should have thought of when you were at the ballot box. Contrary to my accent, right, the one that I don't have, I'm actually from the South. And what I've seen from the South is they're continuously living at these subpar levels for generations. Yet these people that get elected from the South, these Republicans, have all the money in the world. These people are rich and their constituents haven't seen an increase to their way of life, to their way of living, still lacking resources. Yet the people that they voted for are rich as hell. So when I see these people sit up here and say this shit like, oh, our people supposed to be helping us. No shit. And y'all continue collectively to vote for these same people, which, again, points to the racism. Because the only reason you continue to vote for the same type of people over and over again is that they do appeal to something that's inside these people that they connect with. It's that they think that these Republicans hate the same people that they do. Yet, the Republicans get rich. Every one of those Republicans get in office gets rich. They'll tell you that voting for the other side would have been just as bad. And that is not true. But it's hard to feel sorry for people who will cut off their nose to spite their face.
What about Governor Kemp? How can he help us and how can we reach him?
Governor Kemp ain't gonna do shit. Governor Kemp is a Trump sycophant. He'll do anything. He's the rah-rah boy for Trump. He's a terrible, terrible governor. Terrible.
I can tell you that there hasn't been a lack of effort to get in touch with Kemp, but there's been very, very little response.
That's because Kemp doesn't have to do anything. Like, red states have relegated themselves into obscurity because they know that their constituents are so stupid. They're going to continue to vote them into office. So no matter how bad of a job that they do, they're going to get back into office. If you look around that crowd, there was a bunch of old white people and the one sloppy ass fat black dude, okay? Just one in that crowd of white faces, making the same terrible choices over and over again for generation after generation. You're going to vote for him again, and you're going to have the same shittiness that happens over and over again. That's insanity, to continue to vote for that shit.
A bill that would ban marrying your cousin just failed to...
So, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You're celebrating because Florida Democrats failed to stop a bill that would have prevented people from marrying their cousins. You heard that news, and then you ran to your phone and created an in-your-face video to celebrate it. You understand that there are two possibilities here. Either you're genuinely happy that the law now allows you to marry your cousin, or you're so far down the redhead rabbit hole that you are just celebrating any instance where the Democratic Party doesn't get their way, no matter how telling the resulting law is. I hope you realize that this is literally the reason we say that the party has either become a cult or it has been infiltrated by people who want to marry their cousin.
This is why the South never grows. This was a law in Florida. I'm not shocked about the marrying the cousin thing down in Florida, okay? Florida is an interesting and yet weird place. But this is why this country will continue to be where it's at. This is why the Trump administration wanted to cut funding and cut the Department of Education, stripping it of its ability to be able to make sure that laws were enforced that would grant equal education opportunity to all. Because they want to keep the country stupider. Because there's people like this who will vote against their own interests, vote against the betterment of the country, vote for shit that, let's just face it, I mean, marry your cousin? This is about as Florida as you can get when it comes to a goddamn vote, all right? So again, we have another situation where you have someone who votes against their own interests. Now, normally we talk about this in terms of economic policy, but his vote personally has affected him and his family.
Do you guys remember the story of Wayne DeMario hailing from the state of Florida? Let me give you a little bit of a recap of the story and then give you guys an update on the entire situation.
Didn't vote for this, but I definitely voted Republican.
Yes, sir. If you voted Republican, you voted for this. You voted for everything that happened to you. Because you can't, I don't understand the logic. Okay, how do you think that you can divorce one from the other? People like myself continue to come on here and tell you that the statistics say that Republicans cannot govern. But the point I'm trying to make is, it is people just like Wayne DeMario who will sit here and say, I didn't vote for this. Yes, you did. If you voted for the party, you sat there and you cheered on Trump, then anything he does, you voted for. You didn't vote for any policies because he didn't give you any goddamn policies. So what the fuck are you talking about?
When you said I didn't vote for this, what did you think you had voted for?
I really thought this was just going to be something organized. But it's obviously not. They just blanket everybody.
Alcantu, calling from her detention facility in Louisiana. She says in her 8 months detained, she has not seen an immigration judge. She stresses she's not a criminal, and her biggest fear, being deported, especially to Cuba.
And as promised, here's the update. Because on March 15th of 2026, Wayne posted the following on his GoFundMe for Yamalea, where he writes, "She has been deported to a third country, Mexico. Dropped off with nothing. No paperwork, no identification. No money, nothing. We are working on the next steps to get her settled and safe in Mexico, till we can get her back home with her legal status back. We still need everyone's support. This is not going to be easy or quick." Then on May 4th, Wayne posted on his GoFundMe and it says, "Yami was deported to Mexico about 2 months. It's been a crazy time, but we have her settled in Mexico in an apartment safe. They left her with no ID, no paperwork, saying who she is or where to go, no money, no food, and nowhere to go."
Look, what's her name? Yami? Yami can do exactly what she needs to do to make it. Yami can go ahead and sell that ass. That's right. I know that's crass, okay? But Yami can go out there and sell a little bit, okay? And somebody else can be blowing your woman out because you voted for this, okay? You voted for Yami to have this life with no identification, none of this shit, to get deported. You had her in here. She obviously, her immigration status was questionable at best, and you thought they would just go after the quote-unquote criminals. Well, in the eyes of the Republicans and the Trump administration, Yami is a criminal. And Yami can go ahead and sell that ass, shake that ass down in Mexico. But I'm going to tell you, it is what it is. This is what you voted for. You all are terrible. You all cannot take accountability of what you asked for.
I wake up in the morning and I realize I am potentially part of the dumbest community of people humanly fucking possible. So here's some Cuban karma that makes my life worse, but yours, maybe a little bit better. My cousin, who supported Trump, is about to get deported. My other cousin, who supported Trump, has lost hundreds of thousands of dollars on his business because he imports equipment from fucking China. My friends and family who own trucking businesses, own trucks, drive trucks, either can't find drivers to drive because the illegals can no longer drive trucks, or option 2, all of the fucking truck parts and the petroleum cost so fucking much that they're losing out on profit. And so because of that, on top of that, the tariffs are making imports into the port even more expensive. So the trucking contracts and the rates are fucking ass. So even if they could find a legal driver, nobody would drive for those fucking rates. And if they're out of money, they are incapable of fixing their number one way of making money. And even if they did fix it, they wouldn't be able to make enough profit to justify it. This by no means, shape, or form makes me fucking happy. This fucking sucks dick watching my entire community suffer. But I get to sit here and say, told you dumb fucks, told you dumbasses, look at you now, just as broke as me. I mean, maybe not as broke as me, I'm pretty fucking broke. But Trump is karma for Cubans. This is karma.
They are dumb and blind just like the rest of MAGA. They are dumb and blind just like a lot of people because it's a lack of education. I'm going to give Hispanic people a lot of props because they're some of the most hardest working people I've ever seen in my life. But it's crazy because they come here and they think that they're better than everyone else, not realizing, hey, you had an opportunity to make it in America just like the rest of us did. And so to sit here and think that you're better than someone else just because you found a loophole to make it without realizing the underlying history about like why black people get held back in this country, not to say that we can't obtain and earn and learn, but even when we do, there is systematic efforts to continue to hold us back. You all have been afforded different things, and they still wanted to get rid of y'all ass out of this country. And that right there is exactly the disparity that we have to deal with when it comes to dealing with people who are supposedly brown, okay? We don't want none part of y'all because we can't trust y'all. We've seen the way you vote, and you vote as if you think that you're white, but you're not. And they'd like to let y'all know that. That was one of the first things that Trump did was to get rid of Cubans. And not only that, later on, he goes ahead and put the ship outside of Cuba and stop them from being able to get fuel and all kind of shit. See, that's what he thinks about you. And that's y'all fucking penance from thinking that you're as white as the white person. That's racism. That's FAFO karma.
If you are a self-hating MAGA Latino, watch this video.
30 30 minutes ago, we were talking to this MAGA supporter. It was this Hispanic dude who was really sweet.
I'm going to come up on my 10th year of waiting for our case to be heard. I'm honestly sick and tired. I just want to be done with this to be able to call myself an American.
I still think he should be sent out. Because, really? Yeah, I 100% agree that if you overstay, it's a civil violation. You should be sent out. It's a crime, right?
I'm just tired of not knowing if I'm going to be turned back to my country to face the cartels that persecuted me and my family, and I'm just annoyed.
How many times must we remind these people? You will never be white.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. Just like I talked about, just like what I said, you all think that you're one of them. And even when we tell you they don't give a care, you don't listen. Even when they get on camera and say, we don't want you here, you don't care. Too many instances where you all sit there and support the same people who are racist toward people like myself, that it comes back onto you. Speaking of racism, I promised you that I was going to give you an update to a viral man who spoke out during the Nolan Wells case, and karma has come back to get him. FAFO has come back to bite this man in the ass, and I'm going to tell you, I, for one, I love it.
So, update on Remington Lane McCall. This is the Jacksonville, Florida racist who made that horrible video about unaliving black people in water. He got doxxed. He got found. He lost his job. People got his Cash App. People found out where he lived. Good job, Internet. He's made a statement. He sounds a lot different in this video.
The hunt for me is over. They got me. They know my name, my address, everything. You know, I knew it was going to happen. After the Walmart video went viral, all I got was just constant threats. Then the other video went viral, and then that was a definite, they would find out who I am.
Swim, boy, swim! Woo! Learn how to swim, boy! You can't do it! You can't do it, boy!
Look at the tears in poor Remington's eyes. Look at the sadness on his face. Another reason that we cannot forgive, much less forget, is because when you said those things, when you said things like Mr. McCall, Remington McCall, of all things, okay? Remington here fucked around and found out. And so when they say these things like Remington, they don't feel sorry about it when they say it. They mean it with all of the hate and vitriol that is in their hearts, because they might think or say that they're better than you, but the racism is because they know they're not better than us. And that's the sad part. You've had every statistical advantage in the world, and yet you're still miserable. Think about that. You all have the statistical advantages. You all have the advantages of life. 400-year head start, and you're still just a poor, dumb motherfucker. Oh, that's what makes them mad. Because even when you were poor, they feel like you're still doing better than them. And that's the jealousy. That's the anger. That's the racism. See, the majority of black people, we don't have any problem with y'all. We want to just be able to do our own thing, and y'all to leave us alone. But you all meddle in our business because it's not enough that you have everything. You're fucking mad because you don't have everything. That no matter what your skin tells you, you're not better than anybody. If anything, you're even worse. That is your problem. Then we come to this man, another old ass white dude who actually kind of gets it, but he probably doesn't, not fully. But he has a message for everyone, Democrats, Republicans, independents. He realizes that this man is not out to help people like himself. And before I end with this video, I just want to say, the older generation that's still clinging onto the past, trying to bring us backwards, because they thought that was a good idea. I just want you to know, they sold out America. See, yeah, they got rich, or they dealt with prosperity like no other generation has. And they did it on the backs of their own kids and grandkids. That's right. That's right. They sold this country out. And they believe that their vote matters more in a democracy than your vote. And now, people like this man is finding out. So they're saying vote blue. Unfortunately, I have to agree with him because the only way out is to vote differently.
I'm a Republican.
Well, this should be interesting.
I'm asking everybody, Republican, of course, Democrat, and independents to vote blue.
Sir, are you threatening me with a good time?
We got to do something. Prices of everything has went up, and he said he was going to bring prices down. He lied.
That's because he has a severe case of diabetes, which is very similar to limentia.
And I'm sure there'll be some Republicans out there that will say, make up excuses for Trump.
That's because they've mastered the art of moving goalposts and performing mental gymnastics. If those were Olympic sports, they would get the gold medal every time.
We just can't afford any more high prices.
Did you just say the word afford? Because I thought he said
affordability is a hoax.
So guys, vote blue midterms. Republicans, vote blue. Democrats, I'm sure you will. And independents, vote blue. We got to get Trump out. That's all there is to it.
Stay vigilant, stay engaged, stay revolutionary.